Hi, I'm Mark Cunningham with Grace Management. One of the common questions we receive from landlords is, how should I qualify that applicant for my property? I've already figured out how to market the property. I've attracted some tenants, but now I have somebody that wants to rent my property. How do I decide if they're going to be a good tenant or not? That is the key to everything else when it comes to property management. Because if you can find a good tenant who's going to pay their rent on time, who's going to take care of your property, that's going to make almost everything else easy. We know at the end of the day, that's what we're primarily going to get judged upon. If we can find a good tenant for a property, that landlord's going to think we're the best property management in town. If we can't get that right, we're probably not that great. That's the impression. So here are 7 criteria areas you want to make sure you research with an applicant who's interested in your property. Number 1 is rental history. That is imperative to ensure how long have they been in their prior property. What was their payment history? It's not just payment history, it's length of time. As a landlord, you're not looking for someone to be in your property 6 months, a year. You want someone to be there 3, 4, 5, 10 years. We've actually had a tenant in one property for 30 years. Paid off the owner's mortgage over a 30-year period. Pretty cool. It's pretty rare, but that's what you're looking for, that long-term quality tenant. So check their rental history. Talk to their current as well as prior landlord. Their current landlord may give them a glowing recommendation just to get rid of them. Go back to their prior landlord. That's the one that'll give you the honest assessment. Secondly, credit score. Credit score is imperative, and we can really use that to determine what kind of an individual this is as far as paying their debts. Third is criminal background. You want to have pretty high standards for what you will consider when it comes to a criminal background check. Are you going to allow misdemeanors? Did you know that most speeding tickets show up on a criminal background report? That's all fine, but you have to know it. You have to know how to process it and how to look at it. Third is eviction background check. You want somebody with a 0 background when it comes to evictions. If they're scoring that way, if there have been filed evictions against this individual, keep looking. It's also pretty easy this day and age to do a sexual predator background check. That's something else you should research to ensure that this person is not a registered sex offender. And then lastly is income. People tend not to tell the truth always on their applications when it comes to income. So you need to verify that. What is their actual income? Is it verifiable? If they meet all those criteria, the last thing you want to look at is a pet verification. If they're bringing a pet in and they say it's only a 5-pound poodle, is it really? Or is it a 25-pound Rottweiler? Actually, I guess it'd be a 50-pound Rottweiler. Verify that. Get a picture of that pet. Have them fill out a pet addendum. Attach that to the file. Those are things that you want to look for to find. And what that will do is doesn't guarantee a perfect tenant every time, but what you're doing is you're setting the bar pretty high through those filters of reducing the risk, mitigating the risk of a bad tenant coming through. Now, you don't want to just look at one of those factors. You want to take all those factors together and put them into a criteria model where you're scoring that. TransUnion has a document that they put out. They've researched 15 million tenant records. And TransUnion can tell you that if someone has a credit score from 600 to 699 and their income to rent ratio is fair, the eviction rate on 15 million records is 2.2%. If that credit score drops to 550, that eviction rate jumps to 5%. That's very valuable information to have. If you're a self-managing landlord, give me a call, drop me an email. I'll be happy to share this with you. It's valuable information in helping you prospect a tenant. But prospecting for your tenants is imperative. You've got to get that right. And if you get that part of it right, almost everything else when it comes to property management can fall into place. Hope that was helpful for you today. Gosh, doing this.